Hello and welcome. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Andrew, my brothers, and this is the Daniel and Andrew Show.
Where we give our opinions about movies and TV and movies about amateur Minecrafters that we've been watching lately. So, Andrew, how you doing today?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing all right. Got lots of stuff to talk about today. Did you do anything fun this week?
I did watch something.
Okay.
I'm blanking on the name. TV show, Man on the Inside, the one you recommended. Not, I don't know what you gave it, but I remember you being like, "This is great," type of thing.
I thought it was pretty solid.
Yeah, I thought it was solid, pretty wholesome.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think it was all that funny. There were bits and pieces, but
Yeah.
Laura liked it and she wouldn't stop asking me to watch it, so I caved in and it's a show. I don't know. I was a little disappointed at the ending, but whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I don't know. What did you rate it? Do you have a rating?
I want to say it was like a 7 or an 8, something like that. I don't think it was like.
I want to say you gave it like an 8, and I was like, wow.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was pretty good. Like, I liked the show. I watched the whole thing pretty quickly. It was an easy watch, and I was entertained. And I didn't feel like it was a slog to get through. That usually means good for me. I liked the people in it. I thought it was funny enough, and I liked the moments they had and stuff. So I
Yeah,
thought the movie
I think
show
I'm
was
at
good.
like a 7 or a 6. I thought I was good too. So
Yeah, I think it's better than a lot of. I mean, there's a lot of just crap that, like, just stuff for this that we've watched that it's just like I gotta like
yeah,
just get through it to get through it, and that show I just watched for fun and I liked it.
yeah. This show is definitely better than like let's say '90s show, and one that
Yeah.
I've had to bleed my eyes through.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, that's what I watched, and then I'm actually going on a trip. I'll be gone for a week, so we do have some content that'll filter out, but um, we'll be gone next week. So
Yeah. Um. So I went. Um. They were doing it in IMAX, but I didn't get a chance to see it because the IMAX near me was down when it was going. But they did a 4K remaster of Princess Mononoke, which is one of those Studio Ghibli movies, the Miyazaki films. Um, that's one that's like one of the more popular ones. It was like I don't know how many. It was from '97, so
mm-hmm.
was that like 20 more than 25 years? I don't know. They did a 4K remaster, so I just saw it in the theater. I'd never seen it. I thought it was pretty good. That one had more like action in it. They're like warriors and stuff. There was more like, and it's not like modern. It's like they're like using bows and arrows and swords and stuff like that. Um, so he gets like cursed, and he has to go talk to like the the spirit of the forest, and he hopes that the spirit of the forest can cure him of his curse before it kills him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, uh, there's a lot of like big beasts and stuff, and obviously it's mystical, like most of the movies that he made. Where I give it like a 7. I liked the movie. I don't know. This one didn't the whimsicalness didn't grab me as much with this one as it did like some of the other ones that I've seen more recently, Totoro and um, Howl's Moving Castle. I saw that a couple weeks ago, and I really liked that one. So, but I think I'm just kind of like tapped out on that specific um, studio movies. I think I've seen all like the really famous ones now, like
Mm-hmm.
Spirited Away and stuff like that. I mean, we watched The Boy and the Heron, and that one won the Oscar, and that one was like the weakest one I've seen. And I've seen like 6 or 7 of them now, and I think that's the weakest one. So, and
I
that's
agree.
yeah. So, yeah. I mean, it was still fun to see it in the theater. I watched the dub, uh, but there's a lot of explaining and stuff in the movie, so I'm kind of glad I watched it dubbed. But I always like that those look kind of like they kind of look like paintings, and then they have like the little characters in the in. I always like the look of
Mm-hmm.
them. At least they're nice to look at, and they're usually very like mostly like chill movies. They're not like you know they're light most of the time. This one had some blood and stuff. This was actually the most like violent one that I've seen by far. So that was kind of interesting. It was kind of jarring because I'm just expecting like only these like little cutesy characters, and there are
Mm-hmm.
those in that movie, but there wasn't. It was much more violent than usual. So yeah, um, cool. All right, Andrew, you ready to get into some news here?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
All right, excellent. Okay, well, we're gonna finish out talking about CinemaCon here. Um, we got so next on the CinemaCon list of panels that they did was Warner Brothers here. So Warner Brothers, a lot of these later ones in the week didn't have that much like new stuff to talk about. Warner Brothers did let's see, we'll start with F1. So showed more stuff from F1, probably that trailer that we saw like a week or so ago. One battle after another, which is that movie with Leo. Um, I mean, we talked about it last week. I don't think we were
Yeah.
particularly like geeked about
Yeah.
that. Um, but they brought Leonardo DiCaprio out, so of course they. I'm sure the people in attendance were happy, but not that exciting for us. That wasn't at the thing.
Yeah.
So, um, and then we got um, our look at Superman,
Superman.
um,
What the like,
which
extended
was
look
in
is what they called it, or something like that.
the extended look. Yeah, did you see that in front of
I did,
Minecraft?
and yeah, like the
Me
whole
too.
five
Me too.
minutes or whatever it is. I thought it was kind of weird.
Yeah, I got there early because I wanted to see it in the theater, not watch it at home, which I could have watched it at home because I did not see the movie until like after the weekend. So, because they
Hmm.
put it out on online. So, but no, I wanted to see it in the theater, and we'll talk about that later. Um, there was stuff for The Conjuring, which I don't care about. Final Destination, which we talked about, and then Zach Kreger's Weapons. So they basically Warner Brothers had like their own like horror section. Zach Kreger's the guy who did Barbarian, and he's the guy that's gonna do the Resident Evil movie. But this is his next movie that comes out on my birthday this year. And then they talked about some more farther out projects like Sergeant Rock, Wuthering Heights, and The Cat in the Hat. Now, The Cat in the Hat is something I'm kind of interested in. After the horrible Cat in the Hat movie with Mike Myers, um, they uh, will never do a live action Cat in the Hat or any. like Dr. Seuss because his widow's like, you'll ruin it. You're ruining his legacy. So um, they only do the animated stuff now for um, anything Dr. Seuss. It's Bill Hader is the cat in the hat. Um,
Nice.
he's going to be the voice, and obviously, he's a good actor and good voice makes can do funny voices and stuff.
I
So.
want to say that's the guy from the HBO show, right? And he was on SNL and stuff. Am I thinking of the?
He was on SNL.
Okay.
Yeah, he was Barry.
Okay. Yeah, I
Barry.
just
Yep.
wanted to make sure
Yep.
I was thinking of the right person. And yeah, I think that's a good choice. Really funny guy. Can
Yeah,
do
that's
lots of
coming out
voices.
February 27th.
Oh,
Yeah.
next year.
Yeah.
Okay.
February next year, obviously.
I don't know.
February.
They announced things for
this year.
2027 in some of the panels. So
yeah, this is next year, February, and then they had The Bride, which is based on The Bride of Frankenstein. That's the Maggie Gyllenhaal directed movie that she wrote as well. That has Christian Bale, Jesse Buckley, and Jake Gyllenhaal, her brother. So a trailer for that. And I believe that Jake Gyllenhaal plays the monster, if I'm correct. So,
what's the movie called again?
The Bride.
Right.
It's The Bride of Frankenstein.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh no, Christian Bale is the monster. I wonder who Jake Gyllenhaal is then. Interesting. But yeah, cool. Yeah. So that was pretty much everything from Warner Brothers. It was mostly seemed to be a good chunk horror focused. Yeah, they opened up with Superman, get people excited. Looks like they got their poppy movies, their star, star forward movies, F1 and things like that. And then they showed, their horror stuff, and then they finished up with Leo there. But yeah, not like too many reveals or anything. But it was mostly for this stuff for this year that they're trying to get people excited for. It looks like. So yeah, that was everything from Warner. Next we have Universal was next.
Real quick, can you check if you're on the right microphone? You might be, but you're just kind of loud.
Yeah, sure.
But I can just cut this.
I'm loud.
Yeah, like I can just turn you down. It might have been me, but you got a lot louder, so I thought maybe you might have swapped to your laptop mic or something.
Microphone is Yeti. No, that's correct.
Okay, yeah, you're good then.
Do you want to write down this time, or
no? It's just like, no, you're good. I'll cut it out. Don't worry. Just go, continue like you were.
All right, you got it. Okay. So the next panel was Paramount. So we have Paramount had quite the long panel. They started out with Mission Impossible, the final reckoning there. I mean, we've seen quite a bit of Mission Impossible. I think they've just put out some more stuff today or recently. I don't think we're going to cover it because I don't want to watch it. I think I've gotten more than enough. Yeah. And I've seen that trailer in front of like every movie. They're like really showing that movie. So I'm sure
I'd rather not see more on it too.
It goes well.
I'd rather not see more on it because I don't want to get spoiled either. I want to see more of it.
Right, exactly. I don't, I remember seeing that. What is it? He like jumps off the cliff on the bike or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Saw that trailer like a billion times. So once he does it in the movie,
Then
it's like
yeah, what it
I've seen
is.
it already.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, yeah, exactly. So I was like, all right, you know. So this time I think I'll try to not watch as much. Um, there is stuff for that boring Smurfs movie. We got their first look at the SpongeBob movie, The Search for SquarePants. Um, so they had Tom Kenny and Mark Hamill was apparently a voice in this movie. He's going to
Oh,
be probably the Anne credit in the movie. Um, and yeah, it looks like SpongeBob wants to turn over a new leaf and become a quote unquote big man. Um, looks like they're going on
okay.
an adventure, and they gotta uh, do some stuff. And SpongeBob and Patrick go on an adventure. Looks like they're going back for kind of like the first movie where they go on like an adventure road trip type thing. So,
Yeah. I don't
um,
think I've seen any of them. So
what?
I
You never
don't.
seen the SpongeBob movie?
No, they go like out of the
Goofy
water or
Goober?
something, right?
Yeah, David Hasselhoff.
Yeah. I
You don't
like.
remember
I
that?
feel like I've seen those bits, but I don't know if I saw the movie. Maybe I did. That
Oh
I did
man,
remember that use the Goofy Goober thing, but
yeah. All right. Well, I'll be watching that when that one comes
uh,
out. I'll watch. We'll watch the first one.
oh,
Um, good stuff.
okay.
Uh, let's see. Roofman with Channing Tatum, Juno Temple, Peter Dinklage.
Wait, it's called
Decent
Roofman.
cast here. This movie is called Roofman. Tells a true story. Um, well, it says it's a true story. A thief who robbed nearly 60 McDonald's from entering by the roof.
Oh, that actually sounds kind of
So,
interesting.
mm, yeah, we'll see. So it looks like, yeah, Channing Tatum is the thief here.
Oh,
Sounds like kind of comedy, but we'll see.
yeah.
Um, they got a first look at The Running Man, which is Edgar Wright's next movie, and that's the one that stars Glenn Powell. Um, there was a movie in I believe it was in the '80s with, it's a Arnold movie, but this one is, I believe, going more based on the book, not like a remake of that movie. And it's based on The Running Man by Stephen King. Um, Stephen King wrote a lot of non-horror too, that have done well. So we'll see if this one does well as well. Uh, Liam Neeson in The Naked Gun, with Pamela Anderson and Paul Walter Hauser. We had a trailer for that, and they did show this trailer, um, which we'll talk about later. But um, I don't know. I think this movie already looks funny. I was already going to see it no matter what. It's a Naked Gun, parody comedy, and I like those. So I was going to see this movie
Yeah.
anyway. So, but yeah, are you interested in that at all?
Yeah, I'll watch that. Hmm. I
I mean,
spoiler, I've
I
seen that
think
trailer. So
we like comedies. Yeah, right. Yeah. I mean, we like comedies, and I'm definitely always wanting more comedies. Um, so yeah. Um, so there were some other things that were mentioned, but they didn't like show anything. There's still that the guys who did South Park and Kendrick Lamar are doing a musical, apparently.
Mm.
Um, I mean, the guys who did South Park wrote the Book of Mormon, and that's a massively successful musical. And Kendrick Lamar is a very successful artist, so I'm sure that will probably do
Yeah.
well. Sonic the Hedgehog 4, Scream 7, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem 2, and The Legend of Aang, The Last Airbender. So their panel seemed to be a little bit longer than some of the other ones, but it was mostly the stuff that they have coming down the pipe here
Okay.
this
So they were
year.
just
That's what they were
saying what's coming. They didn't actually talk about the
Yeah,
Avatar
none
thing.
of those they
Okay.
talked about.
They just
No, they
mentioned
didn't
it.
give it any footage. Right, exactly. No footage or anything. Just mentions like, "Hey, this stuff's coming down, coming later." I would assume all of this is not going to be all of this is not this year or anything. So I think they were focusing on
Mm-hmm.
their this year stuff, and then they were like, but also stuff's coming, you know. So yeah. All right. So next panel here. Next panel is Universal. So Universal was another one that was mostly about their stuff for this year. The only, let's see, double check. I believe, yeah, the only new stuff that they really announced was before the first movie even comes out, How to Train Your Dragon 2 live action will come out June 11th, 2027.
So it's already been
So
greenlit for a sequel.
already being greenlit, already gone. So it must be good. I mean, they
I'm gonna
usually,
be making
if
money.
it sucks, you know, yeah, you hope so. I know for one thing, you're definitely going to be making money on the draft with
Not
Minecraft.
too
So,
shabby with my like
um,
third pick.
I mean, you picked it pretty early because I mean, Dad had 3 picks, I had 2 picks, or no, we all had 2 picks. You picked it, you know, in your
Yeah.
second set
Yeah,
of
that's
two
my
picks.
yeah.
So I mean, you picked it pretty early.
I mean, you guys could have picked it. I'm just saying, not too shabby for my
I
third
went with
choice.
Superman because I thought Superman had a good chance, and honestly, seeing that trailer, I still think it has a good
Okay.
chance. I think Superman can make just as much
I
as
think
Minecraft.
you might be right. What was Dad's third pick?
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Uh, Dad picked Wicked, and what was right after Wicked? Michael picked the Michael Jackson biopic, which they said they're mulling over splitting into 2 films.
The Michael one?
The Michael biopic. So his movie might not come out this year. We'll see. If they split it and they take time to split it, it might not come out this year. And that would be a massive blow to his draft.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, and that was Lionsgate, I believe, that made that movie. That's that, and John Wick is pretty much all they got. So yeah, so How to Train Your Dragon 2 live action coming in 2027. Speaking of Wicked, they showed stuff from Wicked for Good. I'm already excited for it. I don't need to see a trailer. I know the story. I know that there is new stuff in the second movie. They wrote new music, a couple new songs, one for Cynthia and one for Ariana. Of course, I'm sure those will do well and people will like them as long as they're good. But the original writer is back to write the music, so and they probably want to get that Oscar for this original song, I would assume. But yeah, so they basically showed they basically showed one of the big songs from that, which is "No Good Deed," which is her like angry song that Elphaba sings there. We got some more footage on Jurassic World. Um, let's see. All right. We got, let's see, Him, which is produced by Jordan Peele. It looks like probably. Oh, it's a drama. It's a drama, football drama. Retired quarterback played by Marlon Wayans. So looks like, um, yeah, right. Well, maybe it is a horror. Okay, this is a very interesting summary here. You're like, as you read through this description, there's a lot of creepy stuff. So I guess it looks like this is a horror movie. I thought it was going to be a drama. Yeah, this looks weird. Yeah, surreal stuff when they showed Jordan Peele's producer credit. So, yep. Megan, or sorry, Mithrigan 2.0, um, from Blumhouse there, with the cast returning from the first one. Let's see. The Bad Guys 2, another one of your picks for this year.
Yeah, that'll put up $1 billion,
So,
right?
yeah. Yeah, you certainly hope so. Nobody 2, with Bob Odenkirk there, with the whole cast coming back and adding Sharon Stone onto the cast. Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Jason Blum came on stage dressed as Freddy Fazbear and showed a teaser, which is bringing back the cast from the first movie as well. The Black Phone 2, which is that movie directed by Scott Derrickson, who was the Doctor Strange, and then he made this movie that apparently was good and people liked. So they're making a sequel pretty quickly. I think that came out in like 23, I want to say. So that's coming out in October of this year. James Wan produced movie, another horror movie, and it's a Megan spin-off of sorts, is what it says. It's called Soulmate, with an 8 for the A.
Of course.
And The Phoenician Scheme, which is Wes Anderson's next film. It has Benicio del Toro, Scarlett Johansson, Tom Hanks, Bill Murray, Bryan Cranston, Benedict Cumberbatch, Jeffrey Wright, Riz Ahmed, and Richard Ayoade. I don't know how to say his last name. But yeah, looks particularly goofy and over the top, what Wes Anderson does. So they showed some stuff for Begonia, which is Yorgos Lanthimos' next film, which he did Poor Things and The Favorite. So I'm sure this will be another weird movie, and stars Jesse Plemons and Emma Stone, who were in his last movie, and Emma Stone was in his last 2 movies. So going with the same cast of characters there. Yorgos Lanthimos, actually, yeah, she was in the last 3 movies of his, actually, Emma Stone. So yeah, quite a bit there. I mean, Universal has Blumhouse under their umbrella, so they definitely feature their horror, right? And they got the horror, they got the indie films, and then they got their big blockbusters, Wicked and Jurassic World. So looks like they were prepared. Great. So that was everything for Universal. Um, all right, we'll get into this next panel here. The next one was Amazon MGM. So what do we got here? Live action Masters of the Universe. That is He-Man,
Oh,
starring Nicholas Galitzine. Galitzine? I don't know how to say his name. Camila Mendez, Jared Leto, Allison Brie, Idris Elba. Directed by Travis Knight, who I believe, if I'm correct, I believe he directed Bumblebee, um, which people liked. I don't care about He-Man. Um, and this is the first live action He-Man since the 80s, I believe, with what's his name? Dolph Lundgren. So we'll see how that goes.
yeah. For me, it just depends on how much Amazon is in control of creative decisions because they don't make good creative decisions.
Mm, yeah, yeah. I can agree with that. Um, so I don't know. Well, this one sounds interesting. Actually, this sounds really interesting. I'm definitely curious about this movie. So we got Lord and Miller, Phil Lord and Chris Miller. Their next movie. They showed a trailer for this movie. They did 21 Jump Street, um, and like the Lego movie and stuff like that. Um, and this is written by Drew Goddard, who I believe he's the one that did the Daredevil TV show, the Netflix one.
Okay.
Um, and it stars Ryan Gosling. Um, so yeah, he did Buffy, the Vampire Slayer, Lost, the Martian, and a movie I really like, Bad Times at the El Royale, which is a really good movie, which I think is definitely a hidden gem movie. Yeah, Daredevil. He was the Daredevil guy as well. Um, yeah, so he's a TV guy, and then he also did uh, just a couple movies, or Cabin in the Woods and Bad Times at the El Royale. So written by him. I think he's a good writer. This has Ryan Gosling and Sandra Hüller, who she got nominated for Best Actress in Anatomy of Fall a couple years ago. So it says that Ryan Gosling plays a quirky school teacher who is approached by a scientist because the sun is dying and needs to be reignited.
This is a movie,
So it
right?
looks like Ryan Gosling. This is a
Okay.
movie. Looks like Ryan Gosling plays a bumbling kind of guy, and she plays a really smart scientist. Um, and this movie is called Project Hail Mary. So this is their Hail Mary to,
Re-
keep the Earth. Um,
to make sparks
so
fly.
looks. Mm-hmm. The Greg Fraser is the cinematographer. It says, who did the Batman and Dune. So it looks like it's gonna be. There's a lot of fun people involved. A good cast. I like the writer, director, and the cast. So, and it sounds kind of fun. So we'll see how this movie does. Um, I would assume that this will be a in theater movie.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure. Yeah.
it's based on a book, apparently. So, um, cool. Let's see. So there's a thriller novel, Colleen Hoover, who's a pretty popular writer. It's called Verity. Michael Showalter is directing. Anne Hathaway, Josh Hartnett, and Dakota Johnson. It's a thriller. Yeah. Yeah, it's a crime thriller starring those people. Um, yeah, it looks like they play. Um, yeah, they're Dakota Johnson, or yeah, Anne Hathaway and Josh Hartnett play a couple. Um, Sounds interesting. Um, there's a lot of stuff here, a lot of small movies with people you've heard of. Um, and I'm really not interested in talking about a lot of them.
Okay, we don't have to.
Those are the ones that look interesting.
Okay.
Um, so yeah. So that was everything for Amazon MGM's panel there. They don't have a lot of like big movies to talk about, um, especially because I mean James Bond is definitely still in flux there. Um, so
The
um,
only thing I'd ask is
yeah.
there was
So
nothing Fallout because that is
no,
Amazon, right?
this is all movies
All
because
movies. Okay.
this is all movies. This is all movies. Everything is movies because this is Cinemacon. This is for theater owners.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
So yeah. Um, so nothing about Fallout. If there was something about Fallout, it would be a movie. Which would be cool, but they're not doing that clearly. So, but yeah, no concrete anything about Bond or anything because I'm sure they just got into working on that. All right. So, next panel and the final panel of the weekend was Disney. Um, Walt Disney. Uh, all right. Let's see here. And this was another one where they really didn't give that much new stuff, um, except for a couple things. They got but yeah, not much new. Let's see. Disney. We have obviously they started what comes next, Lilo and Stitch. So not that much new for that. I don't think. I don't know. Are you particularly interested in Lilo and Stitch?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so. I'm not either. Um, they showed some more stuff for the Thunderbolts. Um, yeah, they showed more of that scene of the Sentry, played by Lewis Pullman, doing stuff, wreaking havoc. Um, they, so yeah, they showed stuff from the Fantastic Four, the First Steps. That's a very wordy title, the Fantastic Four, the First Steps. I don't think we ever really like talked about that. Yeah, just doing stuff, being a group, and they showed Silver Surfer, which is the Julia Garner. It's playing the Silver Surfer in the movie. Freakier Friday, which we talked about a couple weeks ago. Looks like there's some new footage from that. Um, Here's something new. We got some footage from Predator Badlands, which is going to be Dan Trachtenberg, um, which I'm pretty sure is the Prey guy. Um, and the main cast is all we know right now. The only cast that I know of is Elle Fanning, is the lead, and I like her. I think she's good. Um, let's see. Elle Fanning plays a mysterious and possibly cybernetic human
Hmm.
who is trying to help the predator.
Oh.
Um, so it looks like we're going it's a post-apocalyptic Earth where the predator is outnumbered. So it looks like we're instead of going the past, we're going to the future on this one. Um, I don't know. He's made good movies in the past. I liked Prey, so I'll definitely see if this movie is good. I'll definitely be checking it out. And it looks like this one will be in theaters. It won't be on Hulu like
We'll
Prey
see.
was.
We'll see.
Um, they announced that they have an animated Predator thing as well that will come out. That'll be on Hulu. There was a trailer for that. Um, and then they're all in on Predator over there, and Aliens actually, Alien and Predator. We got Tron Ares, which we got a trailer for that they released, and we got our look at Jared Leto and some of the other people. This is directed by the guy who directed the sequel to what's it, Maleficent. He directed that movie, and looks like in this movie the Tron world will come to the real world instead of the real world going into the Tron world. Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not particularly. I don't. Nobody asked for this. I don't. Unless you're a Tron fan, no one's like, you know what? I'm thinking we need a Tron 3. I don't think anyone has been saying that, but who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe
We
really
can talk more about it in
people are
the
super
trailer
excited
section.
when yeah. Um, cool. So yeah, Tron Ares and Zootopia 2. Um, Not much we know about it. Just the director, the cast, the original, from the first movie, Kei Hu Kwan and Shakira making her return from the first movie as well. Um, that's there's a song from that first movie that did really well because Shakira is a national star, is a worldwide
Yeah.
star. In America, she's a star, but worldwide, she's like Latin country, she's huge. So I'm not surprised that they have her coming back. And I have no question that in my mind that movie will do well. Um, so yeah, cool. And they finished it up. Well, let me talk about this first. They showed the footage of Jeremy Allen White as Bruce Springsteen in the Bruce Springsteen biopic "Deliver Me from Nowhere." I don't particularly love Bruce Springsteen, so I'm not particularly interested in that movie. But I like Jeremy Allen White, so I don't know. I saw the Bob Dylan biopic, and I'm not a particularly big fan of him either. So I'll probably see the movie, but I'm not like
Yeah.
that jazzed
I'm
about
not
it.
interested.
So Disney finished it up with a big movie. What do you think the final movie they talked about at their panel was?
Avengers?
No Avengers talk. That was a good
I
guess though.
don't know. Star Wars?
Huge movie, most likely the biggest movie of
Oh,
the year.
Avatar?
Avatar.
Okay.
That's correct. So they finished up with Avatar, of course, and yeah, pretty much the cast from the last movie. They showed stuff of the Ash people, the vicious tribe, I guess, the from the volcano. Yeah, just looks like they showed the new tribe and showed you some new stuff in it. Uh, not particularly. There's not a lot of new stuff. Just kind of um,
Just saying we exist.
little
It'll come
bits.
out eventually.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So yeah, cool. And that was Disney's panel.
Cool.
Yep. So that was CinemaCon's, all the CinemaCon panels. I'm trying to think about all of them. Uh, Sony, there's Sony, Lionsgate, Amazon, MGM, Paramount, Warner Brothers, and Disney. Um, so yeah, um, I mean, I don't. They're so spread out with their with like content now. Everything's like gone changed hands and stuff. So I don't think there's any like clear winner, but I feel like Disney's was the most boring because they really didn't have anything new. It was all like stuff we already know about. Um, they usually like tease with something big, and they didn't really do that.
Yeah.
So, um, but yeah, I feel like some of the smaller, like a Amazon MGM or like a Lionsgate, they have like more varied and weird stuff that they show, and that I find those a little bit more interesting than just like the big movies we've already seen like a million things for.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. But CinemaCon comes every year, and there's usually a lot of stuff, and then we get a feel at least for the next year and a half of stuff that's coming out, stuff to get excited for. So I'm happy that they still do it, and I'm happy that they do it for theater people because I want movie theaters to do well and continue to do well. I think seeing movies in the theater is important. So and fun. I had a good time seeing Minecraft in the theater. So
Super.
yeah. All right. So that was everything for CinemaCon there. All right. You ready to hop on the trailer train here?
Yep.
All right. Cool. So what do you want to talk about first, Andrew?
I don't even want to get Star Wars out of the way. I'd say
Sure.
it's like the least big one. I'd say. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you're the of the two of us, you're definitely the more resident Star Wars guy. Well, I like Star Wars. I don't get me wrong, I really like Star Wars, but definitely the
I've
more
wasted more time than you on Star
yeah,
Wars. There
yeah,
you go.
yeah. Especially the animated stuff. I'm not like so what'd you think? We're talking about
um,
what's it called? Tales of the Underworld. So they did the Jedi
yeah,
one, and then they did what is it? Sith? And then they did
yeah. I don't. Did they still call it Tales? They still called it Tales of the
Empire.
Jedi,
Tales of
right?
the Empire.
Oh, Empire,
And
right?
then this one's Tales of the Underworld. So I guess this is others than them.
The two people they showed were Asajj Ventress and I'm actually forgetting his name. Do you know it? The bounty hunter guy. He was in Boba Fett. The alien one.
Oh,
And
Cad Bane.
yes, a fan favorite character that they just totally ruined in that show. Um,
Yeah.
hopefully this gives him some redemption because he's a really cool character. Um, so I like both of the characters. So I'm excited. They never really said what happened to Asajj Ventress, so I guess this will give us some snippets of what happened.
Well, I mean, she's alive, so maybe they'll bring her back somehow later.
Yeah, honestly, like that's cool that they if they would do that, but I don't know what I've gotten from like Ahsoka and the Rebel cast. I'm just like it's not bad, but it's just like you know my expectations were higher and they did not get met. So
Did you ever watch the Tales of the Empire?
I don't know if I did, to be
I
honest.
didn't.
Who was in it?
That was the one they picked. is her name was like Morgan or something? That lady who was in So
Oh,
that was lame.
yeah,
And
yeah,
then
yeah.
there's somebody else that was interesting that I don't remember.
Okay. The
It was like
interesting one you don't remember. Okay.
it was
Maybe we give that a watch when this one comes out. Maybe we watch all of it,
yeah, maybe.
the Empire and the Underworld.
Tales of the Empire. Did you think it
Um,
looked good?
yeah, I think all the animation looks good. I don't know how I feel about like Saj Ventress with hair, but I mean it makes sense. But um, it's not just that she has hair; it's kind of like a goofy looking hairstyle. I don't know. Um, but yeah, I think the
It
animation always looks good.
Yeah, Morgan Elsbeth Barris Ophi.
Oh, yeah. No wonder we didn't watch it. Yeah, she's a character from Clone Wars that was a turned Jedi.
Yeah.
That basically the reason was it? I guess she was the reason Ahsoka got thrown out of the not the council, the Jedi Order. But dude, I don't even remember. She's in a couple episodes. Yeah, she turns to the dark side. I guess. If she's Empire, but
Was a Jedi Knight that fell to the dark side during the Clone Wars and was an Inquisitor of the Galactic Empire. Blah, 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 blah.
oh, I didn't realize she was an Inquisitor.
Padawan
Maybe we'll have to give that a watch. Yeah.
Padawan of Anakin Skywalker. To bonded, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Okay. But it looks like they're connecting. Maybe she was an Inquisitor in that show,
What show?
The Tales of the Empire. Barris Ophi there.
Oh, yeah, probably.
That's very
Yeah,
possible. I just remember liking the Tales of the Jedi. I liked the Dooku one. The stuff about Dooku was interesting.
yeah, yeah.
I thought that was actually really good. I was like, and that connected with the prequels and specifically the first movie, which I liked. So
I'm
with
gonna assume you
Qui
don't
Gon,
have a release date on this off the
the
top of
Tales
your
of the
head.
Empire.
No,
Um,
that's already out.
yeah,
The
Tales of the
Underworld one.
Empire is out. Underworld. Tales of the Underworld.
I think we watch all 4 episodes or series, whatever they have, 2 episodes. I don't know, and give it some kind of review. Maybe make a separate video.
I believe that it is 6 episodes, just like the other two were. There's like 3 of each one. Yeah, 6. And it is coming out. Well, it's April right now. So what? And it's coming out relatively soon. When do you think it's coming out?
May the 4th.
There you go. That's correct. May the 4th.
Nice, nice.
Um, so, yes, Star Wars Day. There'll be that. I don't know if anyone cares, but it'll be out.
We can watch on Star Wars Day. We're huge Star Wars fans.
I do like
Woo!
Star Wars, but I wish they were doing more Tales of the Jedi, to be honest. I don't really care about any of these characters. I can see why I didn't watch the Tales of the Empire.
It depends on what they do with them, because they're all kind of like cliffhangery, what happened to them kind of people. So they
Except
might have taken them in an interesting direction.
possibly. Um, Now, Asajj is definitely a character that is interesting. That if they did bring her into live action, actually probably would be cool. But if it's anything like Cad Bane, they'd mess it up. So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I'm like, nah, just give me the tails, and I'll be good.
Basically, what's his name's characters? Pretty much everything since the Jedi has been what's his name's characters.
Cowboy Hat Man.
Cowboy Hat Man.
I don't know why I'm blanking. I'm blanking on everyone's name today.
That's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, I don't Filoni. Yeah.
Yeah.
Filoni.
Do you know he worked on the original Avatar?
Which Avatar?
Like Avatar the Airbender? Last
Yeah.
Airbender. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's an animation guy through and through. That's
Yeah,
why he needs to stay away from the live action.
fair.
Yeah, stick to animation. Stick to what you got. Um, yeah. Well, we'll see. I don't know. I'm not like I don't care that much, but I have only hope for that one character.
I think he's good as the idea guy. Have someone else direct. That's
I actually think it's the opposite. I don't think he should be the idea guy because he will just shoehorn his characters in. I think he actually makes it worse. Um,
I guess. I mean, you said you like the Dooku one. Like
I would say,
he's
but
the
I don't think
creator behind that.
I don't think he wrote that though. I think
Oh,
he's like, hey, you should do Dooku, but I don't think he was like, here's the story. I could be
yeah.
wrong, but I
I
don't
see
think
what you're
so.
saying. Yeah.
But yeah, I
All right.
think he could be. Here's the idea, but I don't think he should like fully write it.
Okay.
Um, yeah. So what's next? Let's talk about Megan 2.0 or a remake of Terminator 2 because that's what this movie is. But
Yeah,
really goofy.
it kind of is. Yeah.
I mean, the villain from
Yeah.
the first one comes back to take on
This.
a stronger version of that character, basically the stronger version.
Yeah, I like how it was supposed to be kind of horror in the first one. And this is like not even horror anymore. This is
Yeah.
like comedy action or something. It's
Yeah. I
completely
don't know.
moved away. Yeah.
What's funny is it makes me much more interested.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't mind the first movie. I didn't think it was horrible or anything. It was kind of weird and creepy and over the
Hmm.
top, which I don't mind. To be honest with you, um, I think this looks goofy and weird and over the top. So I mean, yeah,
Hmm.
they gave her kind of an upgrade because the girl who does the the body double for her, the dancer girl, whatever, she's older now, so they just worked it into the story, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
Uh, so that makes sense. That's a good idea. So you can continue to have her, and the cast is coming back from the first one, who I thought were actually pretty good. Um, I think this movie could do well. It's kind of leaning in full force into the campiness. I think, uh, like, I remember seeing, I didn't see the first one, but I saw the second Happy Death Day. It was called like Happy Death Day to You. And that movie was, it's supposed to be horror, but it was straight up like a science fiction movie. And I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. That's kind of
Hmm.
what I'm feeling with this one. It's just kind of like leaning, not going kind of away from the horror bit of it to just like this weird comedy sci-fi thing that they're doing. So
Hmm.
um, I don't mind it, to be honest. So
Yeah, I guess we'll see. The only thing I'll say is when they had she's older now, like the face on her, because it's a CG face or something, right?
I think it's a mask. I think it's an actual mask. I could be wrong. Like one of
In
those
one
like,
shot, it looked really weird, and it didn't look like a mask. I don't know. It looked like some
oh, are you talking
CGA.
about the new, like the current, like the Megan, or like the
I'm
new?
talking about Megan.
Okay,
The new person's just a whole person, right?
I don't know.
I
I
just look. It just looked like a person to me, but
Well, they
yeah.
have. You seen the? Have you ever seen those masks where it's like a literal like face and it's like very
Hmm.
like realistic looking? That's what I think it is, but I could be wrong.
I don't. In the one shot I'm talking about, I don't think it was. But
Oh, okay.
anyways, that was my only concern.
And it looks kind of funky.
Yeah.
All right. Um. All right. Let's talk about Tron Ares. The Tron
Hmm.
stuff looks cool.
Yeah. It kind of. To me, it looks kind of the same. I don't know. It's like we made all these advancements in like CGI and whatnot, and then like the last 10 years, like we forgot how to use it or something. Like we peaked at Pirates of the Caribbean for some reason, and then they're just like, nah, don't give anyone any time other than James Cameron. And that's it.
Yeah, I don't know. Um, I Nobody asked for this movie.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, no one was going. You know what? I can't wait for another Tron. So I don't know. I don't know why they made this. Jared Leto's the lead. That doesn't get me excited.
It doesn't get
Um,
me excited that they're in the real world either. That doesn't excite me
I
at
mean,
all.
I thought it looked kind of cool when they were like flying or whatever. But first of all, this is like a teaser. I mean, there wasn't really that much to it. I
Yeah.
like Greta
We have
Lee.
no idea what the story
Um,
is.
yeah, it's just that they're coming out of the Tron world. You hear Jeff Bridges' voice. They don't show Jeff Bridges. Um, and Jeff
That
Bridges
big
really isn't doing a lot
robot
of
thing
stuff. Yeah,
looks goofy to me. I was just like, what? Really?
yeah. I don't know. We don't know too much right now about it, and still not that much about it. I mean, there's probably more when they talked about it at Cinemacon. We didn't. They didn't. They just talked to them
Mm-hmm.
there. So,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I have no I have no expectations for this movie. It just looks like Tron to me. Um, but I wasn't like geeked about them making one anyway. So
If anything comes out of this movie that is good, I think Nine Inch Nails will do a good
oh
soundtrack.
yeah, yeah.
I'm
This
excited for that.
the music did sound pretty good. That's true. I like Nine Inch Nails. I just well, I think it was Daft Punk that did the music for the
Yeah.
last one, and they've retired. So Nine
Yeah.
Inch Nails is just the same. They do they already do scores. The Atticus, whatever his name is, and the
Mm-hmm.
Red Trent Reznor and stuff. Like they already do scores. They've done the Spider Man, the animated Spider Man ones. That like they've already done the scores, so we know that they make good scores. They get nominated for score like Oscars like for the last like 5 years, so they could do good scores. It's just so that having them is cool, but I mean we already knew they can do a good score.
Yeah. I mean, I still listen to Tron music from the original one
Yeah,
from Daft Punk. So that's why I'm excited about it. But other than that,
the second one, but
yeah.
yeah, I see what you mean. I mean this one. I mean they're actually saying Nine Inch Nails. They're not saying the names, even though it's the same guys. But yeah, they're just trying to make it look cool and stuff. I'm, I'm fine with that, but it doesn't change
Mm-hmm.
how I feel about the movie. I mean, it can sound great and be a boring movie. Um, so yeah, so we'll see how that goes. All right. Well, speaking of good music, we got our look at Superman there. Um, so they did a nice little look at Superman for CinemaCon, and they put it in front of Minecraft. Um, so we got basically the extended version of him falling into the snow there with Crypto picking him up.
Yeah, it's like just like an extended look of that scene. That's
Yep.
really all it was. Yeah.
So we got to see the Fortress of Solitude. Crypto being a dog. He, you know, we saw some robots.
Yep.
Um, I liked seeing it in the theater. I think
Yeah.
it really does a different. Basically, this trailer was already seen, and I saw it at home, and then seeing it in the theater, it really makes a difference. with the music and everything. Uh, the Superman theme is great, and they're using it. So uh, I don't know. He looks like Superman to me. I'm hoping. I mean, it's keeping the James Gunn kind of comedic edge to his even though he's all beat up and stuff, and the robots were kind of goofy and funny and stuff, and I mean I like all that. It keeps the Guardians kind of feeling to it. uh, I think it just doesn't get too dark or anything, so I'm actually kind of happy that I have that. I still don't love that, like, this is still what we're seeing is him being like beaten up. Like, that's
Okay.
I
Yeah.
mean, not only are we getting that, it's just a prolonged version of that too, and the dog's just like
Yeah. You
jumping
got
on.
some Vader breathing there. Yeah.
Yeah. It is kind of Vader breathing, isn't it? um
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know. I think the Fortress of Solitude looked pretty cool, but I mean, I was like kind
Yeah.
of the
It always
aesthetic
looked
of that.
cool.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
I like it. Looks a little more sci-fi
Yeah.
almost.
Hmm.
I like that personally, but
Well, that's I
lots of
mean,
people don't like that.
I think James Gunn definitely likes that. He's definitely going more into the alien kind of. Um, I think he was thinking more like Star Wars with like a C-3PO type thing. But
Mm,
I was feeling more Power Rangers with the
mm,
with like Alpha 5. That's what I
mm,
got. But yeah, I think he definitely likes that like kind of 60s space robot, guy in a suit look kind of thing. Um, and he definitely went with the old school like Superman look and everything. So he definitely likes the classic kind of retro future kind of thing. He
mm-hmm.
likes that. So I think he's keeping that with Superman. And I think having Superman being quasi retro works because that's where Superman is from, right? So, yeah, I mean, I'm definitely going to see the movie, obviously. Definitely will want to see it in a nice big screen. And that IMAX will be fixed up by me by then. So that's all good. Hopefully, it'll sound great and look good. I'll definitely be there for Superman, obviously. I like Superman anyway. So,
Mm-hmm.
all right. Right, let's talk about the Naked Gun. Um,
Pretty short trailer, but
yeah, it's definitely a teaser. Um, the jokes were funny. Um, I'm hoping these aren't all the funny jokes in the movie.
yeah, I'm not just like super sold yet, but I mean it looks good.
So it's the director, one of the guys from The Lonely Island, who directed Hot Rod and stuff like that. I mean, I like those movies. Uh, Lonely Island guys, Seth MacFarlane's producing. Um, Liam Neeson is funny in this so far. Um, I mean, he's definitely can play it straight. Uh, I like Paul Walter Hauser, um, who's his like sidekick in this movie. Uh, didn't get did we get any? No, no Pam Anderson in this trailer. But she's like the love interest for him. So she's kind of having her little resurgence here. Um, I think comedies are going to do a little bit better this year. It looks like we're going to have a few good comedies, so that's good. Um, I like being able to go and going to see a new comedy. Um, and I thought I thought Minecraft was kind of funny. So, I mean, I would consider that a comedy. So, but yeah,
Hmm.
we're definitely getting some more comedies this year, and then parody comedies I've always liked, like Airplane and The Naked Gun and Scary Movie and stuff. Seems to be. Hopefully, we'll get good good versions of that. Um, and I think this movie looks pretty good. Him, uh, his face on a little girl's body was pretty funny. I have to say. Uh, Definitely gonna be one of those lots of joke, heavy joke movie, and
Yeah, I
uh,
I just don't know if it's gonna work on me. I don't know. We'll see.
yeah, I mean, I think you have to be receptive to that kind of movie. It's definitely a feel, you know, a tone the whole time, right? So you have
Hmm.
to be
Yeah,
ready for that or whatever. So
I there's a good balance and a bad balance to it. I mean, that's the reason why you have such, like good ones like Austin Powers or something, and then the lower half, there's some really bad ones. I won't go into them, but I mean, like Dragonfly or something like that, where it's like a spoof movie.
I don't even know what that is.
It has Drake Bell.
Oh, that was called a superhero movie.
Oh, it's called a superhero
Yeah,
movie.
and he was like a
Dragonfly,
dragonfly, I guess.
whatever. Yeah, yeah.
I never
But
saw it.
it was really bad,
Meet the
but it has the
Spartans.
same. Yeah, so it can range. So hopefully, this is on the higher end.
I can only hope. I mean, I think it looks pretty good. I'm definitely down. I was down for the premise anyway before anything. So yeah, I'll definitely check it out. And yeah, we can only hope it's a good one. All right. So that's all the trailers for this week. I mean, there is smaller trailers, but and there was like second or third trailers for movies. I mean, like The Accountant or whatever, but The Accountant comes out in like 2 weeks. There's just like no reason to talk about them. And also, I don't really want to get spoiled on things, and
I
you know,
agree. Yeah.
so um, and I only have the bandwidth for one or two horror movies every once in a while. So, you know, um, cool. All right. So, we ready to get into our review?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, we are going to talk about Minecraft. Um, so, this movie was directed by Jared Hess, who is famous for directing Napoleon Dynamite and Nacho Libre. Um, and this movie stars Jack Black and well, actually, it stars Jason Momoa. He gets top billing for some reason, and Jack Black, um, and the kids and stuff. Um,
Mm-hmm.
what did you think about this movie?
Um, it's not a good movie. I'd say that.
Mm.
I did laugh at some parts, but it's like so cringe that I found it funny. Um, which aren't pluses in my book, but I personally enjoyed it. But another person might look at it and be like, "This is so beyond stupid that I'm not gonna watch it." But kids aren't gonna care. They're just if you're a Minecraft fan, I'm sure you'll eat it up just like they did Mario, which was also not a very good movie. So
Which one did you like more?
I probably liked this one more,
Me too.
but I actually think this one's a worse movie overall.
I will say I liked this movie. I don't know why, but I did. I think it was more a. To be honest with you, I think I think Napoleon and Dynamite is one of like just a really good movie. Period. I really like that movie. I think that's definitely one of my favorite movies. Um, and then so there's like people love Nacho Libre. I think there's a big contrast between Nacho Libre and this and not and Napoleon Dynamite. But I still think Nacho Libre is a good movie. So I think this is leaning more towards like the Nacho Libre side than the Napoleon Dynamite side. Um, but I still think they're good. Either both of them are good.
Mm.
But I like that. I it's all Jack Black shtick. Like Jack Black in this is all very Jack Black shtick, but he's doing it. It's clear it's for like a kid audience, but I think it's all like fun. Like I found it all charming. I'll say that. It didn't bother me. It didn't go over the line for me on like too much. Like I didn't my cup didn't overflow with the goofiness. I thought it all kind of worked for me. Um, I think there was a lot of like kind of references to Napoleon Dynamite in this, to be honest, with tater tots and random people going on dates and stuff, and it's goofy and stupid. But all of that worked for me. Um, this movie weirdly worked for me. I didn't have honestly that like I had a good time the whole time, and I saw it, and there were kids in the theater, and they had a good time. They were laughing. People liked the songs and the uh, the chicken jockey thing and all that stuff. Like the stuff is like trending on TikTok and stuff like that. I liked his little songs that he had were kind of fun and stuff. I don't know. It
Hmm.
all kind of worked for me. But I mean, I think I'm always been kind of okay with the very like just kind of goofy shtick that this movie gives. The kind of randomness that they kind of have in this movie. Uh, I thought it was fun, and I think they do the video game justice. I mean, it's about being creative, and you can build whatever you want, and you can have
Hmm.
your pink house and or mushroom house or whatever, or you can make your little block house like I always did. You know, I kind of liked all of it. I thought everybody did a pretty good job, um, and it's made the game seem more fun than the game actually is. So
Yeah. Okay.
that being said, I give it like a 7.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, I'm not that. I feel like to put it in comparison, you have your two comparisons in recent memory is Mario and Sonic. Um, and I personally enjoyed Sonic more than both of
if this had
those.
Jim Carrey, this would be a much higher movie. This movie just didn't. This has Jack Black instead of Jim Carrey.
Yeah, and it might maybe I'm just tired of Jack Black, doing the same thing. You're right. It's a Jack Black stick. I don't know. Um, I don't know. I found most of it cringe, which I found was funny, but I do like that there's lots of the game in there. Just for me personally, I think it's like a 5 or a 6. Um, I'm probably leaning more towards 5. I just thought the story, like the overall story, was terrible, but um, it didn't matter because it's just, ooh, look at this thing from Minecraft. Ooh, Jack Black singing about something stupid. Ooh, Jason Momoa doing a spin kick very terribly on purpose. That is funny. It doesn't matter what the story was, right? But that doesn't mean you can't have a good story. I feel like the story was better in Sonic. And I mean, then when you get into like even better of that, you get like Shrek or something, and then parents can actually enjoy the story as well while it's still being funny. So I still think this on the lower end for me, but it was still enjoyable.
Yeah, I think like Sonic's like an 8. This is like a 7. Mario's like a 6, and something like Borderlands or whatever is like a 4. Like or 3 or whatever. That I thought this was decent. I just didn't have a lot to hate on with this movie, to be honest. It all kind of worked for me. It's clear that it's not like spectacularly written or anything, but I wasn't bored. I didn't feel like stupid after leaving the movie. Like, I don't know, it's kind of like, all right, that was like decent. I was like, I don't know. I was kind of in an upbeat mood after seeing it. I thought it was fun. I think kids would like it. I mean, and I think if you had to take your kid to it, I don't think you're gonna be like, oh god, a slog to get through or anything.
I think they're watching your kid enjoy it gives you enough
Yeah.
enjoyment out of
Hmm.
it.
Hmm.
But to say, I, I don't know. Did Dad like this movie? What do you
He
think?
he hasn't seen it.
Exactly.
That
So
doesn't mean he won't see it. Um, you know, I think he would. I
okay.
think if he saw it, he'd probably go. I think he'd probably go like either I liked it or he would go it's fine. I don't think he's gonna be like that movie sucked. I highly doubt it. It's just like just kind of it's like a Fast and the Furious movie. It's just kind of ridiculous, and I can see where you're at a 5 or a 6 or whatever. I'm not like shocked
Yeah.
that you're at that. It's no
No.
by no means no fantastic, well acted, fantastic cinematography film. It is what
Hmm.
it is. I thought the villains were kind of funny, and I liked the different
No.
like set pieces. I guess I don't know how like when they're in the mansion thing and they're like flying, and I don't know. I thought it was kind of fun.
Yeah. Yeah. None of that. I set pieces. Yeah. I don't know. I thought the villains were very forgettable. Um, I'm trying to remember all of them, and I also thought there were too many main characters. Um, I think you should have kept it down to like four, maybe three.
To be honest, the girls were just there. Um,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I
I don't.
mean,
I don't think you should have had the one lady with her goats and or whatever it was, llama. It was like, why is she even in this little
yeah,
group? I thought it would be better as like just the four of them, but I guess it gave the girls something to do.
yeah. I honestly, they just needed the two, and then the the
The
um,
boys kind of went on their own adventure.
yeah. I mean, I think it's mostly about the boy, the younger boy, right?
Hmm.
Him, I I liked how he was, and I liked that he was creative and him drawing and stuff. I liked them. Um, I mean, the message was nice for him. Having him be creative and then saying it's good, it's fine to be creative. That's what you're, you work to like find out what you're good at and stuff. That's like the message. I like the message of the movie. I thought it was overall pretty good. I didn't dislike the movie. I mean, I was fine with it. So, um, yeah, it's mostly about the boy. Um, yeah, I mean, it's all very, there's not a lot of like, it's no like great plot or anything. Everything is very just like, okay, let's get to the next thing or whatever. So,
Yeah. I also like some of the writing wasn't great. He literally says, we're gonna mine, and then we're gonna craft
Yeah, they.
Minecraft.
The, I I think that was
Like
supposed
this,
to be dumb. I don't think it
it
was supposed
is,
to be
but
dumb.
just because it's supposed to be dumb doesn't mean it ain't dumb. It is dumb, and it's
I don't
cringe.
know.
And I just, I just do this. It's just like, I don't know. A lot of the kids that played Minecraft have probably grown a little bit. They can handle
Yeah.
some better writing than that. It's just, I don't know.
That game came out like 15 years ago plus at this point, I want
Yeah.
to say.
I
So,
think I think it's good for kids. That's as far as I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna say every adult's gonna enjoy this. I think
I liked the chicken song. I thought that was pretty catchy,
no.
and I liked the song at the end as well. I thought that was good.
No. Pass.
I thought it was fun. I would
I will
say,
say it was better than Peaches,
yeah.
but that song was terrible. And so are these ones.
I don't think they were terrible. I would say if you have kids or, um, you know, like a Sunday afternoon movie, I'd say check it out in the theater. If you don't, or you don't care that much, I would say I think streaming it might be fine. You know, when it comes on Netflix or whatever.
Okay. Yeah. I would just wait for streaming unless you have kids, would be my
Yeah,
opinion. Yeah.
right. Yeah. Yeah, there's like you can get it when it's discount day or whatever. You can go see it when it's discount day or something.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, cool. All right. Well, let's talk about what is it called? The Amateur.
There you go.
We're talking about The Amateur. This movie has Oscar winner Rami Malek there. He plays a CIA analyst.
Yeah.
He's
It's
an
probably a
analyst.
much more specific role, but yeah, he's an analyst. Yeah.
He's an analyst for the CIA. He finds out about some secrets. And then his wife gets held hostage and then killed. And he wants revenge on the people that killed his wife. Um, Played by Rachel Brosnahan there, who's going to be Lois Lane. She was also Miss Maisel. Um, what did you think about this movie?
I thought it was pretty good. It kind of was like, had like a Jason Bourne kind of feeling, but
Uh huh.
like minus like the action of a Jason Bourne film, but like all of the espionage parts of a Jason Bourne or like a James Bond type of
Yeah.
film.
Yeah.
Um, which I like. And then I like how he has like some character growth throughout and he becomes more comfortable, and I thought it was pretty good. Um, yeah, what did you think?
I liked it. I told Dad at the end of the movie, I said, all it's missing is a good Moby song to tie in the end of the movie.
Mm,
I I I think I think it gets knocked down a point. It doesn't have a really catchy song at the end because I definitely think that there could be more. There could be more of these movies. We really got to hammer it home that it's a good movie with a sick song at the end. But yeah, I thought the movie was pretty good. Um, I I was worried that well, it was 2 hours long, and I was worried that it wasn't going to keep my attention the whole time. Because sometimes movies like this, for me, I get a little bored and I go, okay, especially this particular one. There's not a ton of action in the movie. Um, but yeah, it's kind of this movie is kind of like Death Wish mixed with Born, where it's like he's not a killer, but like he's not going to directly kill them, right? He's not going to just shoot him in the face or whatever. He's going to do the creative ways to kill them or whatever. Um, yeah, I liked the I thought the pacing of the movie was pretty good. I mean, the setup is very generic and very soft, I would say. The setup of the movie is kind of lame, but once it gets going, I think it does a good job. You know, you got kind of slimy guys, you know, working at the same
Mm-hmm.
time you're watching him going after these guys that were the you know, the ones that were behind the attack, and him just trying to like figure everything out. But he's like, you know, because he's our hero, he's incredibly like super smart, like he's, you know, can find out everything about them really fast, and he's always like one step ahead. And I mean, I like all that stuff, right? I like all the kind of spy working things out, but I felt like everything just kind of works out, you know? There was no, I didn't feel like there was any like real setbacks in the movie. I think it all just kind of like
I
falls
can
into
think of
place.
one setback, and then I'm like, it's definitely a setback. I would say.
That's okay.
I guess I'll save it for spoilers. I
Yeah,
would say it's a spoiler, but yeah.
we could talk about spoilers. For this movie, let's see. Let me boil it down a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go. I'm at like a 7. Again, I'm at a 7 as well. I thought it was a well-made movie. I think everyone does a really good job, or does a good job. There's one person in the movie that I think is completely worthless in the movie, um, and is there for zero reason, apparently. Um, and so that was kind of lame. And then I think the stuff with his wife is not that interesting. Um, I liked Lawrence Fishburne, who is like helps him out, like kind of helps train him.
Yeah. I mean, even with the first Jason Bourne, it's the love interest is never really touched on that much, right? It's it's just there for the motivation. That's it.
I know it's the motivation. It's just it's just we've seen it, and it's just kind of. But there's no. I don't feel any
Mhm.
connection between the two. Like I feel more connection between John Wick and his wife that we like never see than these two, and we've seen them on screen together. Um,
I
um
guess, yeah. Okay.
and um, yeah, Lawrence Fishburne does a pretty good job. I thought everybody who works at the agency or whatever, I think all of them did a good job. John Bernthal is fine. Um, yeah, I think someone that helps him out. Um, I mean, she's good too. I thought everyone did a good job, and I think what they set out to do, they did well. But did it blow my mind? Was it? I mean, I think all three of the Bourne movies are better than this movie. I just thought this movie was decent. I liked the movie overall, but it wasn't anything. Will I just be in the top 10 at the end of the year? No, but I mean, it was a solid movie. So yeah, I'd give it like a 7.
I think I'm at a 7 too. I think if it had action set pieces, this could easily be an 8. If it's good action, obviously. Um,
Yeah,
yeah. I think I'm with you on a 7. I think they did all the espionage stuff really good, and I thought all the characters were compelling, and I thought his like turmoil with killing was compelling and interesting. And yeah, they always had something going on screen, so some of these movies do get kind of slow in the talking mumbo jumbo, but I don't think it dragged too much. So
I think how he kind of outsmarts them, and I think him the 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 strongest point of this movie is that it all rests on him, and I think he does a good job.
Yeah, he's a
I
good
mean, he's
actor.
no
Yeah.
one thinks he's a bad actor. He's pretty much good in everything that he's in.
Mhm.
Um, he is good in those things. So yeah, I think it's funny that they ask him like, "What do you want on Aston Martin or whatever?" And it's like obviously a reference to James Bond, and Rami Malek was the villain in the last James Bond movie. So I thought that was kind of funny.
Okay.
Cool. We ready to get into spoilers here then? Because
Yeah, I got a
I
few
think
things. Yeah, I got a few things. So
ready.
spoilers.
Okay, we're getting into spoilers here. So your setback is the lady dying, I guess.
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
yeah,
It took me a second to like figure out what it was, and then
yeah,
I thought about the
yeah.
movie.
I was like, if
I
that's not a
mean,
setback, I don't know what is.
she
I
was
do.
prepared. She was in the line of fire.
Yeah, I do feel like they could have touched on it a little bit more on like maybe it affected him at all. We don't really know. um, but I thought it was a really good scene. But yeah, I'd say that was a setback. And then also Lawrence Fishburne kind of dies and then doesn't. But um,
Yeah,
you could kind
right.
to the in that moment that could have been a setback, I'd say. But overall, it didn't end up being a setback. Um, you said there was a character that you were like, why was he even in this movie? I'm assuming you're talking about John Bernthal.
John Bernthal is completely waste. There's literally no
Okay,
reason for him to be in this movie.
I agree with you, but I'll tell you what I think they're doing. They want a
Oh,
sequel,
well,
right?
yeah. I personally, I don't think it was about the sequel thing. I think he was going to be a bad guy, and I think they cut it out.
Oh, really? You think he was
I
going to be
think,
like one of the people after him or something?
yeah, I
That's what
think.
I was thinking originally he was going to do, and then
Well,
that
I
didn't
you
happen.
only saw him for a little bit. He's not even in the credits. Like they don't even say his name in the beginning of the movie. Like his
Hmm.
name didn't even pop up. You know. Um, so I thought, that could be he could be like a secret. He's the actual, the big bad. The guy running the thing from the shadows, kind of thing. But
Yeah.
no, they just he just kind of was like, all right, good luck. There's no point for him to be in the movie. Um,
I think if they do a sequel, Malik is the guy, in the ear on the computer, and then John Bernthal is Jason Bourne. That would be
mm,
pretty cool.
that's stupid. What's the point
No.
of having this movie with this guy being the lead if you're just going to be like, okay, now he's in the
Well,
chair? That's
obviously
stupid.
he can still do things too. He doesn't they could both be on site, but he's the guy that stays behind and then something can happen or something and he has to
Mm.
react to it. There's several ways they can do it, but I think that would be a really cool movie.
Now, like John Bernthal gets captured and then he has to go get him.
I guess.
Now I can see that. I can see
I
if
think
that's what
there's
you want to do with the
I
sequel,
think that both of them as the stars of the movie basically both doing stuff.
or do what they're doing with the accountant too, and it's just a buddy movie. They could do that.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You'll see that movie in a couple weeks. It's
And then
called The
yeah, give me
Accountant.
this one too. Yeah, I want them
Yeah.
both.
I mean, I would see a sequel. I would be open to watching this character again, but I think, yeah, him outsmarting them doing the stuff. I thought all the
Well, I
the
think he could
pool
still
thing
he
and
comes up with the plan and John Bernthal like runs the plan. He's still outsmarting everyone. But John Bernthal's Jason Bourne and makes all his plans happen. I think that
yeah,
would be cool.
um, uh, I don't know. So the actress that is Equaline, um, is a really good actress. But yeah, she gets killed. She was in Belfast a couple years ago, and which is Kenneth Branagh's like semi autobiographical movie, and she plays the mom, and she's like phenomenal in that movie, and she didn't get nominated for that movie. Um, but I saw her name in the credits, and I was like, I wonder who she's gonna be. And then she shows up, and I was like, oh, she's good. Like, I hope she has stuff to do, and she did, but then she died. So I was like, that's kind of lame. But it was kind of Bourne-esque, where he like meets up with somebody and then they die or whatever, and
Yeah.
it was very reminiscent of that. It was definitely hitting the Bourne beats for sure. But I feel like everyone does a good job. Lawrence Fishburne, yeah, dies, but then he doesn't die. Yeah, they just brought like I feel like there was things that they cut from the movie. They probably had an ending, and they probably did reshoots. And like I
Hmm.
said, I think John Bernthal either was a bad guy or something. They probably reshot and changed that, and then Lawrence Fishburne, same thing. They probably did that scene where they are like, he's like, we're buddies, even though I try to come and kill you. So,
Hmm.
um, yeah. So I don't know. I thought the movie was pretty good.
Just part of the business, man. Sometimes you gotta kill people, and then we're good.
Yeah. Sometimes you shoot guys in the head through a washing machine. It's all part of the biz.
Yeah. Who even was that guy?
He is the guy that the director of the CIA director sent, because Lawrence Fishburne was sent by uh,
But
dickhead
why
guy.
was the other lady's guy trying to kill him to begin with?
The other lady's guy trying to kill Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah, why?
So she found out that he was doing slimy
Yeah,
stuff,
I know, but
trying to
why would
stop.
you try to kill an agent of yours, basically?
She's trying to stop them from trying to stop Rami Malek's character.
Okay. I just didn't. Okay. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, she probably found out the what the bad guy is
Hmm.
doing, right? And she probably went, this guy's a dickhead. I had lunch with him. He's a dick. So screw him. And he's working outside his authority.
Okay.
So yeah.
Uh,
Uh, so it was, and then they just, one of them dies. Lawrence Fishburne's going to be the stronger one, because I've never even seen the other guy before. So
yeah.
um, yeah, they had to have the little thing where he's like, "Oh no, my guy died. That just tried to kill me
Hmm.
because they're still buddies."
Yeah.
Yep. I don't know.
And
I did think the ending was weird. I think they definitely changed some stuff
yeah.
so they could
I,
do a sequel and
yeah, I
stuff.
hope it does good, and I hope it does get a sequel,
Yeah. Um.
particularly with what I suggested.
Yeah. Um. I don't. I think it's doing okay. Uh. I think the movie's going to do okay. I don't know if it's going to warrant a sequel. We'll see how it does. I think the animated movie about Jesus is going to probably do better than this movie. So,
Mm.
yeah. We'll see. I thought the movie was good. Hopefully people go see it. Um, I know Minecraft made a boatload of money. That's the number one
I think
movie so
once it
far this
goes
year.
to streaming, like lots of people will watch it. I don't think it's a movie that has to do well in theaters to warrant a sequel. You put that on a streaming service, you put that on Netflix, it'll be the number one thing.
Yeah, I just don't know. I'm not sure how much money this movie was made for.
Yeah, I have no idea. I feel like it couldn't have been that much, but there are some stars in it, so that.
I do like that they were on location.
Hmm.
Like, they actually looks like they filmed on location. It wasn't just all CGI. Like, none of this really looked like CGI to me, other than like the pool crashing
Breaking,
and stuff. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Um, And when that lady gets hit by the fucking the truck was
Mm-hmm.
crazy. That was definitely CGI.
No, she definitely got hit by that car. Yeah.
That was crazy. The whole my audience was like, "Whoa!" when that
Mm-hmm.
happened. So yeah, there was some CGI there, but yeah. Um, but yeah, it was made for $60 million. Um, so hopefully it can make its money back. I don't know how it's gonna do, but I mean, if it makes Jack Diddley in theaters, it's not gonna get a sequel. Um, but we'll see.
All right.
I think that's everything. Would you? I would say check it out in the theater. I think you would agree.
Um. Yeah, I mean, if you like Jason Bourne-esque movies, spy thrillers, yeah, sure. But I
Yeah,
think this would be a good one. Like, I wouldn't hate watching this on streaming either. So,
I don't think I would. I don't know if it would. If I would sit tight at home, I feel like this would be something I could like. I'd pause and then I might like get distracted. And
I guess, yeah.
I definitely think it's a one you see all the way through kind of
Yeah, I
movie.
think there's plenty of action movies that go on the streaming and do very well. So, I think this could have easily been one of them.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I think that wraps up our episode. We'll see you guys on the next one. Until then.
This has been the Daniel and Andrew Show.